It doesn't mean I become, again, like I said, a victim. It means I'm acknowledging that it's part of who we are. There's a wisdom in what it's trying to tell us, and getting in the flow will help. That's the alignment, and that's how effective those are, that those states. And I think we've made them unachievable out there, the gods and the masters, but but those things exist in all of us. We just need to relax.
Well, welcome, Isabelle Daikeler. I am so honored to have you on the podcast. We were just chatting for a little bit, and I feel like this is going to be such a beautiful conversation. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. There's so much to unpack, and I think there's so many things that are going to come out in this that's going to deeply resonate for anyone who's listening. One thing I just want to start with is you talk about authenticity and how being authentic, aligning with our true self can really be stress reduction practice. Can you share a little bit more about that, how those two relate to each other?
Yeah, so authenticity was a name that I had on my business card when I was even a trainer,
Mhm.
a physical trainer. And I didn't really know why I chose that name. It's very
Mhm.
interesting. I've had it on my card forever, hardly ever give my cards away,
Yeah.
but I've always loved it. And it's
Mhm.
only really now that I'm getting it. And
Mhm.
I'm so grateful because it's so perfect with where I'm at now, and actually my whole journey, and I think our whole journey.
Mhm.
So authenticity, really, it's a lovely word, and people use it a lot right now, which cracks me up, right? I never heard it when I printed it, and now it's everywhere. But it's really just truth.
Mhm.
It's just, don't lie, be honest,
Mhm.
really sit with where you're at. And authenticity is not glamorous, but it's profound. To be honest, to be truthful, to be able to sit with who you are, take some deep breath,
Mhm.
and allow that to be, and move from there. Move from deep breath
Mhm.
and assessing your state.
Yeah.
That's the first part of authenticity. Spirituality, alignment is just that. So we have these beautiful words and sentences, and they mean what they mean,
Mhm.
but we lose track of it. There's so much information, so many books, so many methods. And for me, authenticity means let all that go,
Mhm.
sit with how you feel. Sit with how
Mhm.
you feel. That's authenticity. That's what you are. By that, I mean that is the state that you are in that moment, not what you are, but the
Mhm.
state that you are in that moment. And the more honest and able you are at breathing, moving authentically through it without adding some kind of a statement about it, what it is, where it comes from, why it is so, why you shouldn't be feeling what you're feeling, what you should do about it, what so and so told you about it, why you shouldn't even spend too much time in it because that's, you're a loser, because that state is not particularly glamorous, all that stuff. So if you can just disconnect your brain, doesn't have to be for 5 hours. You don't have to go in a 5 hour meditation and then you
Yeah.
feel like a loser because you can't.
Mhm.
You can just, and then you'll connect with the tension in your solar plexus. Maybe you move your foot fidgeting, tingling in your hand, tension all over, throat a little funky, whatever is happening. Not Don't do anything about it. Be in that state, breathe through it, allow that to be. Literally, we could end this podcast right here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just do that. That's authenticity. That's spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment is not this thing out there. It's
Mhm.
simply who you are, meaning that you're physical state is allowed, acknowledged, and welcome with your mind. And your heart, of course, is sort of the cocoon where everything sits and can be felt and let go of. You can't let go of anything if you're not acknowledging it, if you're not aware of it. You simply need an awareness. You don't have to have a definition for it and a solution for it. You just,
Mhm.
that's authenticity.
Such
And
a
from
beautiful,
that place, you
yeah.
can,
Such a beautiful explanation. I love how you shared that and that aspect of it, and just giving ourselves permission to allow whatever comes up to come up without the judgments. And that's what so many of us can get stuck in, of like, I'm not
yeah,
doing it right. This isn't what that person said would be the experience. And then like then it just you get lost in the mind and you never ever get into the body, and you feel like, like you're saying, you're trying to do the meditation, you can't do it, and then you get frustrated and there's a cycle. It's such a beautiful explanation of just like allow yourself to be, just be present with that moment. It's very empowering just to give yourself to like let go and not have to like follow step by step, of just like allow whatever your experience to be your experience.
correct. And there's nothing about this, like most information out there, that hasn't been spoken of for thousands of years, right?
Mhm,
So we
mhm,
just, each of us come to it at some point in our lives. I don't think you can really avoid it.
mhm,
Somehow it shows up. You might refuse to acknowledge it. You might find ways to bypass it superficially, but it sits there in you. It's there and it affects who you become, how you speak, and your sense of well-being, peace, happiness.
mhm,
So, I can think of Thich Nhat Hanh, Michael Singer, Krishnamurti, Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira, all beautiful beings that I've watched and listened to. And I remember thinking, there's a lot of us, a lot of people online podcast. I always gravitate towards certain people. And there's one thing that I noticed is I love the voices, the timbre, the tone of these particular individuals.
mhm,
It in itself is doing the work.
mhm,
That was an interesting thing for me to acknowledge, that even if somebody has a lot of amazing information and they're really well put together and they've got it, and perhaps they're extremely successful at it, I wouldn't spend time listening to them if their voices wouldn't put me in that state of
mhm.
relaxation. So
Yeah.
these particular individuals that just popped into my head are people that the voice and the rhythm, the way they spoke, did that to me. And
Mhm,
it would almost be like one of those melodies that you put in the background that calms you down. Their voices would
mhm.
do that to me.
Yeah.
So that was to me speaking to the power of sound
Mhm,
and of their beingness. So these individuals, most of them did not aim at this, let's call it career, right? They
mhm,
didn't aim, they didn't want to become it. The world pulled them into it out of necessity and destiny, call it what you want. But it was not like a career that they were aiming at. It's their experiences, their truth, their authenticity that brought them there. And the voice was a mirror of that, of
mhm.
their state. And I could pick that up as a human being because my body is designed for that.
Oh, absolutely. So much of what you said resonates with me. There's just some people you just feel it. Like it's like a knowing of like, okay, this is the message I need to hear right now. And then there's other people, they have beautiful messages, but there's just something that doesn't resonate with you. And
Right.
I love how you talk about the tones and the sound. I had that experience. I actually had a trans mediumship mentor, and she was like working with different music, and there was just some music I could not like drop in. Like I couldn't go deep, and then she would have other ones that like immediately just took me on this like journey inward. And it was so amazing. I had never had that experience where it's just like the
Wow.
sounds, how powerful that was, of like some just resonate with me and others didn't. So So much truth with that. It's
And
beautiful.
it speaks to
Mhm.
your instrument, the
Yeah.
body, which is really what my life brought me
Mhm.
to, is the body, the instrument that our bodies are.
Mhm.
It's highly tuned and very sophisticated,
Mhm.
and it's wise.
Mhm.
And if you just can drop into it and use that tool,
Mhm.
it's amazing what it does, so that you
Yeah.
can choose to then incorporate the mind in a more judicious way that will
Mhm.
serve you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to go deeper into that because for some people who are listening, they may be like, "Okay, that sounds great, but I feel so disconnected from my body. I feel like I viewed my body as an enemy for maybe years because they've been feeling some of the symptoms of that." How do you start to tune into your body where you allow it to speak to you versus continuing that disconnection between yourself and your body?
Well, it goes back to what I said when I said we
Mhm.
could end the podcast here. It
Mhm.
goes
Yeah.
back to allowing that state to exist. So obviously, you cannot always allow that state to exist, but you
Mhm.
don't have to go into great denial. So when
Mhm.
you're in the doing, when you're doing stuff,
Mhm.
and right, you're trying to be effective, efficient,
Mhm.
and you have that state that's not serving you, it really will serve you to take that breath,
Mhm.
that time out. But it can be just 3 seconds. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be, I need to stop everything and go isolate myself in a room with the perfect little bonsai tree and my crystal, which are fantastic, but it doesn't have to be, because
Mhm.
crystal, that bonsai tree exists within you.
Mhm.
So that space is within you. If you can take that beat, and if even if you can't take the beat, the breath,
Mhm.
if just by listening to us or whomever else, you can acknowledge that that's what's happening. And instead of using all your, all the habits that helped you survive
Mhm.
from your early years on, you go through the situation, you've muscled your way through it, and then you keep going.
Mhm.
Instead of that, and I know you spoke of that, and it's so
Mhm.
true, pick it back up,
Mhm.
make time, and we all have that 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Make time to note that moment. Make time to remember what that was.
Mhm.
And again, you don't have, I'm not talking about analysis. I'm talking about just acknowledgement of that state. We
Mhm.
go to therapy to do that. That's what therapy is. It's just acknowledging certain states in us and making space for it. So if you muscles your way through it and you do not pick it back up, you're building the muscle of ignoring yourself.
Mhm.
Authenticity. That's what you're doing. You're getting better and better at it, whether it's through working like a maniac, whether it's giving yourself the weekend to go wild and crazy, whether it's having um, chaotic relationship with human beings around you,
Mhm.
mostly having a chaotic relationship with yourself.
Mhm.
It's gonna come back anyway. So
Mhm.
make the response a habit of, that was gnarly what I
Mhm.
felt. Let me
Yeah.
just go back to it. And people will think, oh, well, then I sit and I feel sorry for yourself. No, when you feel sorry for yourself, it's because the mind now is allowed in with its
Mhm.
judgment and its criticisms. Just what your body was feeling. Sometimes your mind gets off on certain states.
Mhm.
In a way, it likes it, keeps it very busy, but your body doesn't. That's why the
Mhm.
body doesn't lie, right?
Mhm.
Body doesn't like it. And that's the truth. So you go back to that moment and you acknowledge that moment. And that could be 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Just acknowledge it. That alone will be a pattern that will, that's when you get pulled by life.
Mhm.
It's,
Yes.
if you get in the habit of acknowledging that, you will not stay at that stage for very long.
Mhm.
You will want more.
Mhm. Yeah.
It, it, life itself wants you to evolve and I'll say be better. What I mean is life itself wants you to be at peace,
Mhm.
wants you to to find that flow that moves through nature, through the galaxies, and through us.
Mhm.
It wants you to connect. So just allowing that to happen for a moment, life itself will coax you along, and you'll move to another state, another
Yeah.
stage. Did I
Mhm.
answer the question? Because I lost
Oh,
track.
yeah, totally, and I love that because it's almost like you're invited in. It's you get the taste and you're like it doesn't feel like a thing you have to do anymore. It's like, I want to do that. It's like so you don't rely on that willpower that a lot of,
No.
high achieving women do. Is like, I have to just double down, have the discipline to do this, and then one day everything will open up. It's that experience of like, "Oh my gosh, I tried something different and I love it." Like, I wanna explore that more, and there's so much beauty to that when you
Yeah,
start to go down that.
and we have, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and say when you start to go down that path, it does, you feel more free, and you're like, "I want more of that in my life." Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
And my brain just kicked. Oh yeah, we there's many established patterns in our
Mhm.
societies, and that's a flow in itself, right?
Yeah.
I, I don't want to get into the collective consciousness, but there's a flow of a collective that
Mhm.
is also moving through you. And there are many habits that we picked up
Mhm.
over centuries and centuries, right? So it's interesting because, you know, having goals and having the steps to get somewhere, and some people are masters at it and indeed do achieve it. There's again, in this world of black and white, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I'm often surrounded by people that are better at that than I am. And I really appreciate it, have gratitude for it, and admire it.
Mhm.
But this is not the opposite of what we're talking about. It's
Mhm.
like we have a tendency to make that opposite.
Mhm.
Actually, I think society may need less bullet points and less 5 pillars, 10 pillars of how to, if we could acknowledge it. And I think we are acknowledging our states, our emotional self, our energetic self. If we can start integrating that, and I think society is starting to do that
Mhm.
in part of what we are. So we have two eyes, a nose, a mouth, two hands, right, two legs, um, and our and that's a hard word for me in English.
Mhm.
Energetic self is also part of who we are. Our intuitive self is also part of who we are. The body and its states is part of who we are. And they have a place in how we move in the world. And so we've disconnected a lot of that for the sake of being more efficient.
Mhm.
And perhaps we could have fooled ourselves in a certain way that it was, but I think now we're sort of falling back on our butts and are
Mhm.
realizing we've disconnected too much. And it may feel uncomfortable, and it may feel as if we're slowing down and are not being efficient by now sitting in this feeling body,
Mhm.
acknowledging certain things, taking the time for it. It may feel inefficient, but I think as the integration comes and becomes more the flow of the collective,
Mhm.
we will see how much faster we achieve.
Mhm.
Again, because the flow will pull you like a current, like a river. It pulls you, and it pulls you in a place that will probably bore me. It will it will be more authentic to who you are,
Yeah.
more what you really wanted to do and be.
Mhm.
The flow is not the habits, the dysfunctions, the fear, really, the fears,
Mhm.
which means fear means anger, sadness, guilt, shame, all these
Mhm.
qualities, right? That are part of the collective and who we are
Mhm.
right now. And we've empowered these in a way by not integrating them. It doesn't mean I become, again, like I said, a victim. It means I'm acknowledging that it's part of who we are. There's a wisdom in what it's trying to tell us, and getting in the flow will help you move and become. And I'm using become in the way of you know, what we do in the world.
Mhm.
Your actions might be more in line with your deep heart desires.
Mhm.
So that's the alignment, and that's how effective those are, that those states. And I think we've made them unachievable out there, the gods
Mhm.
and the masters,
Right.
but but those things exist in all of us. We just need to relax, sit
Yeah.
back, and
Mhm.
allow it to speak to us, so that you might not need bullet point number 5 of how to,
Mhm.
if you can sink into that state more often,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
will inevitably bring you to being truthful, more at peace with the
Mhm.
being that you are and what you really want to be and do in this world.
Mhm.
I
Beautiful. Yeah.
babbled a lot. Let me know if we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
no, I love it.
revisit.
It's so beautiful. I mean, it's so incredibly true. And it's like, we have this like frenzy of like, I think especially with social media where you hear all these things you're supposed to be doing, and it's like, oh, but I have to do this in the morning, I have to do this in the evening, and it becomes this like frenzy in your mind of all the things you think you should be implementing. But it really is, it's like, the arrow, you have to pull back and have that moment of pause before you can actually propel yourself forward and go in the direction you're truly meant to be. So
Yeah, and you might have to go backward,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
might not have to pull the boat at all.
yeah. Uh-huh.
You
Right.
might need to just be there, what that's like.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Mhm.
as you said, just what you just said. Um, I was in and I still am in the world of health and
Mhm.
fitness in many ways. And I've been through all the stages. I've done the colonics and the fasting and the macrobiotic and the vegan for 25 years. And
Mhm.
I've star supplements. Now, if you take this supplement, your health will just be amazing. And I've been in a move through so many stages, and I'm watching them just come back. The wheel just turns and turns, and it comes back. Different star. Now it's this supplement, not this one. But more and more, as I was living and learning my lessons, more and more now, I think, oh my God, before I take the supplement, before I
Mhm.
change my whole diet, not that you don't need to look at your diet, of course.
Mhm.
I'm not speaking in black and whites here, but it's so much more important to look at your emotional state,
Mhm.
right? How do you
Yeah.
feel every day?
Mhm.
Your why?
Right.
How- When you get up in the morning, how does it feel to step into your life?
Mhm.
It's so much more important for your health
Mhm.
to assess and look at that and take the time. It will benefit your well-being, your physical health in such an amazing way. So now I'm much more prone to doing that type of work
Mhm.
before reaching for supplements. And I'm not
Yeah.
justifying anything. I'm just saying we need to incorporate that type
Mhm.
of work. And we need to know that we're equipped to do it right here, right now. I was saying in another podcast, you don't have to go to Egypt.
Mhm.
Going to Egypt is fantastic, or
Mhm.
Peru or Costa Rica, all these, spiritual places, right? We're
Mhm.
we're we're categorizing and we're dividing already. Even
Mhm.
in the place where it's about unification
Mhm.
and and knowing of your worth right here, right now. But so often the underlying message could be perceived as, if you don't go to Egypt,
Mhm.
you won't be able to access this state and find your true self.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm noticing that because the world of spirituality is becoming so glamorous and so hip, and it's making money now, that now we can fall into these traps in that particular world as well. Same
Mhm.
traps as any other, you know, area of our lives.
Mhm.
So it's interesting that as I'm talking on podcasts, I'm actually discovering what I'm doing with my life.
Mhm.
And I'm discovering through these conversations, oh, my space is a space where I want to say, you have it all,
Mhm.
you're equipped and you're all set to experience that sense of home welcoming,
Mhm.
that you're okay, that you're enough,
Yep.
that the others are okay, they're
Mhm.
enough,
Mhm.
all these rejection of oneself and therefore rejecting the other.
Mhm.
It all you have is already you are the best amazing machine,
Mhm.
a bio machine. You are that, and it's all there in the most simple ways
Mhm.
of your breath, of a pause, of acknowledgement. You're
Mhm.
okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay. And
Mhm.
allowing the feelings sort of make space for a whoosh, like a wind of heart information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You you hear it, you get it, and you know it's the truth. For you.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know it. You don't need anybody to tell you. No expert
Mhm.
has to confirm it. No trips, nothing
Mhm.
you have to buy. It goes right in. And just the knowing, just that space and that feedback by the divine,
Mhm.
life, nature, all that is, whatever you're comfortable with, it responds automatically and it gives you what you need. And then it's a felt
Mhm.
sense. You know, you don't believe, you know. So you don't need to put it on your wall. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
100%. And it's like you almost have to have that experience to like know what that knowing feels like.
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
someone could tell you like, oh, this is what it feels like, but you when you go through something, like this is like my path. Like there's just something that feels so right about it that you don't even question it at that point. And then
Yeah.
you move in that direction of love. Like that love is propelling you forward versus like that scarcity mindset, like I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, I should do this, I should try that. Somebody told me about this. Like it's coming back into you of like everything is moving through that intention of love for me and for the wholeness of me.
Yeah. And love makes sense. Now you understand the
Yeah.
word. Love in
Mhm.
action makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Like as that movement moves through you and your body responds, right?
Mhm. Yep.
It's almost like it's always moving through you, but we don't
Mhm.
see it, we don't feel it, we don't allow it. And
Yeah.
all you're doing is this.
Mhm.
And then there's a moment and you just need a moment.
Mhm.
It brings so much clarity. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you don't, bring
Mm.
that back on and off, but you can never forget
Yeah.
those moments. And
Mhm.
I think that's what I realize this is what I'm doing at Authenticity. I have
Mhm.
the Harmonic Egg. I do my energy healing, which is something that I didn't choose, that happened to me.
Mhm.
And something that I didn't realize is I sit down, I allow these moments of just being
Mhm.
and conversations that are about that and letting people know
Mhm.
this is all you.
Yeah.
Like I
Absolutely.
didn't give you anything,
Mhm.
all you. I'm just here moving through it with you,
Mhm. Yeah.
learning as well.
Mhm. It's like
So
a guide for
simple.
the inner empowerment. Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
so simple. It's a
Yeah.
simple. Like I remember when I started the process of podcasting, I don't know what I'm going to talk about
Mhm.
because it comes down to very few things. Always,
Mhm.
always, always. And you
Yeah.
may have to dress it up in all sorts of different methods, but really the courage to just be, allow, feel, breathe
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm. And I love it. It's like, it is simple, but yeah, I think it's something that we need to hear over and over and over again because we've lived so much of our life not living that way. So
Yeah.
it's like you and I know for myself, like I have to listen to multiple resources that say the same thing, just be like, "Okay, yeah, that's what I d," like, you have to keep coming back to that because I think sometimes it doesn't always feel natural because you got so in these patterns of forgetting yourself and misaligning decisions and everything that yeah,
Yes.
it's simple, but yet it's not simple to sometimes bring into your life because of what you've gotten used to doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the judgment keeps coming back. So let's say somebody
Yeah.
says, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I was agitated. I was feeling a certain way, anger,
Mhm.
anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to it and breathe, have 3
Mhm.
breaths and breathe through it. And
Yeah.
often people will come back to me at the center and say, yeah, it just drove me nuts, really annoyed me. I
Mhm.
just felt worse. And again, I have to remind them that's exactly right. You will now judge that you were supposed to feel a certain way. And maybe you walked into it and did it with the judgment already there. So
Mhm.
1 breath,
Yeah.
2 breaths, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
not really dropping
Yeah.
dropping in.
Mhm. Yeah, you're just trying to live up to an expectation at that
That's
point.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing some of your story? Like, did this always just come naturally, or did you go through things? I'm sure, I'm sure we always do, but can you share your journey of like how this came to feel more truth and how you really tapped into your authenticity in your life?
Yeah. Well, there's a million moments, right? I think
Mhm.
more and more as you move through your life, you can look at the little moments that
Mhm.
you did not even think about as you were moving through them.
Mm.
Didn't seem like a big deal, but I know I can look at all the millions of little moments that were the
Mhm.
every single one of them was so important, i.e., Eckhart Tolle, the power of now, right?
Mhm. Yep.
All in the now moment.
Yeah.
But the big moments um, are really I was in my parents, my family is in the film industry,
Mhm.
you know, film critic, actor, and I was sort of talked into this is what I'm naturally going to be, and I
Mhm.
stepped into that thinking that's all I can do well. That was early in my life, and was never fulfilled.
Mhm.
So again, if I had really paused and sat with it, but I was a child and I was quite young, I would have seen that many aspects of myself was not really conducive to enjoying the film industry. There's
Mhm.
many aspects. Now I look at all of it, it's like, of course, it was so clear I was
Mhm.
not really set up for that. But unfulfilling, what was fulfilling is when I left acting and decided to embrace sport, fitness industry, health. That was very fitting, and I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. And I was quite strong and enjoyed exercising and, very clean eating. I was doing organic before organic was really talked about, um, and loved it, loved it. And at some point in my early 20s, I started feeling very tired, lethargic, my head was foggy. I think they would probably call it chronic fatigue syndrome, that kind of stuff. At the time, they did not really even know what that was. But I ended up at a place in time where I could not even walk. I was exhausted. I dragged myself from doctors to doctors. Um, Nobody really knew what was going on. They just wanted to give me antidepressant, and I always say, of course, I was depressed. I couldn't work. I couldn't train my clients. I couldn't do anything. I was just exhausted all the time. I had to borrow money constantly to pay my bills. So got anxious, got scared, yes, depressed. And that was the state I was in when I was somehow guided toward going to Koreatown and meeting these lovely ladies that saw that I was sick
Mhm.
and just helped me pick what I know now of being mushrooms, adaptogen
Mhm.
herbs, root vegetables, um, and somehow taught me how to cook it, how to
Mhm.
blend it together, cook it, and make a little elixir from it. And so I went home with a zillion things in my hands and started cooking these things as I was directed. And within 2, 3 months, 4 months, I really started feeling better. So
Mhm.
that truly led me to now diving deep into the power of food,
Mhm.
especially adaptogen mushrooms and herbs.
Mhm.
And it was sort of another tool in my toolbox that led me to health again
Mhm.
and discovering a whole world that I didn't know anything about. And I brought that in with my clients. So whomever was open to it, I would make these concoctions.
Mhm.
And everybody, regardless of where they were at in their health state, always benefited from it.
Mhm.
So that stayed with me all the way to, at some point, making a shake that included all these elements.
Mhm.
But then my second big moment was a car crash. So again, I'm quite athletic. My livelihood depends on being very physical and ready to run 3, 4, 5, 6 miles a day with clients, and then the tracks, and then the gym, and at any time. And the car crash made me unable to walk for quite a long time. And then I went from rehabilitation to rehabilitation center, and everybody was sort of, yeah, you're going to get better, but you're probably going to live for the rest of your life. And that was not okay. So then I started studying and really diving deep into rehabilitation, the body,
Mhm.
got myself back on track with more information and with about the body,
Mhm.
and a little bit of an inkling of understanding of my mental and emotional state
Mhm.
that has a lot to do with how the body feels as well and performs. And so that was my second click,
Mhm.
big click.
Mhm.
And then the third one is when I gave birth to my boy 17 years ago. And I ended up not being able to really walk for about 10 years. So
Mhm.
something happened in the pelvic floor. Nobody could really help me. And it took me all that time to get myself back on my feet. And this is when the big, what people would say, spiritual
Mhm.
event happened. So I found myself, um, very desperate, in pain. I don't want to go into the details of
Yeah.
of exactly what happened, but
Mhm.
I was in physical pain and chronic pain and acute pain
Mhm.
nonstop, every day, all the time.
Mhm.
I was about 120, quite strong when it
Mhm.
began, and I went down to like 102,
Mhm.
and very scared, and nothing worked, right? I was quite good at rehabilitation because that was another degree that I'd gotten into through
Mhm.
trying to help myself back on my feet. I knew very, very well respected people that
Mhm.
couldn't help me. And so I got very scared. And that's when I surrendered. I was on the floor in Kauai, actually, and
Mhm.
I was just, I'm in pain all the time. I just had a boy. I
Mhm.
can't take care of him the way I thought I could take care of him. I would take care of him.
Mhm.
I'm scared. I'm in pain. I don't know what to do. Just
Mhm.
help me. And that was my first real prayer of
Mhm.
surrender.
Yeah.
First time that
Mhm.
this is what really surrendering to
Mhm.
the world, to life, to God is. And
Mhm.
that's when um, I don't want to go too deep into that world, but into
Yeah.
the channeling. I don't know how open your
Mhm.
audience is to that,
Mhm. Yeah.
but the channeling energy
Mhm.
work
Yeah.
really, because
Mhm.
I surrendered. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to. I didn't
Mhm.
have 10 pillars to get me
Mhm.
back on my feet.
Yeah.
And so the space, right? I was
Mhm.
available
Mhm.
for the divine information, for
Mhm.
life's wisdom. And it came right in, and it was like 3 days, 3 nights of wild stuff. Now I look back, I don't think it's wild at all. I
Mhm.
think it was the body unwinding itself naturally,
Mhm.
and allowing the wisdom that was always there.
Mhm.
But I got out of my way.
Wow.
And that was really what changed my life in a big way, because I had to stop training anyway, but
Mhm.
I became doing healing work, and the connection between the energetics, the emotions, the bodies, all that. You know how we say the mind body connection, and now it's so clear. No, it's not a connection.
Mhm. Oh.
It's a oneness,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
God is not out there. It's
Mhm.
sewed into every fiber of my body, into every
Mhm.
cell of my being, and the wisdom and well-being and clarity, love, all the qualities we, think we're supposed to be,
Mhm.
the courage. the honesty, the gratitude, the kindness,
Mhm.
all that stuff. It's within you. And I knew without a doubt that we are good.
Mhm.
We are not evil at the core. We are good. It's
Mhm.
all good. And so that was really the big moment where everything changed. And then, of course, having a child teaches you so much. And I was able to incorporate what was happening to me through how I was mothering my child. Not that it was perfect by any means,
Mhm.
but these elements were real and felt and true.
Mhm.
And so somehow I ended up creating this space called authenticity, where there's the harmonic egg, which
Mhm.
perhaps we can talk about
Yeah.
if you're interested, and then
Mhm.
the healing and an aspect that I've always had through all my mini careers,
Mhm.
which was sitting and talking and
Mhm.
allowing and
Mhm.
feeling. It was always part of everything I did with all my clients. I was always aware that the sharing was so important. But now it is consciously welcomed in the
Mhm.
space and
Mhm.
offered.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's absolutely profound. And it's just something that, like, everyone's story may be different, but it's like that pain. And then you see the lesson in the pain. And then you go through another bout of pain, you see more lesson. And it's just, you can see that expansion through each thing, even though when you're in the thick of it, it's very hard to see that. But
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful journey, but it can be really, really challenging when you don't realize that this is all for your good in the long
Yes.
run.
Yes. It
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the pain humbles you. The pain
Mhm.
humbles you. You know,
Yeah.
exercise and fitness is also hijacked by glamour and beauty and perfection
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Um, it will balance itself out.
Mhm.
Was I was doing it decades ago, and I've seen
Mhm.
where it's at now, and it's okay. But
Yeah.
we just have to be careful. It's very
Mhm.
easy to be hijacked wherever we are by
Mhm.
that which is not for your highest good,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
authentic.
Mhm.
Could be fun, could be playful. If it's not
Yeah.
in charge of you,
Mhm.
you don't unconsciously make it the aim of your
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
To always come back to
Mhm.
that what we're just talking about, and pain really does that.
Mhm.
Hopefully, my wish is that we don't have to learn in such a brutal way as a society.
Mhm.
We've
Yeah.
been learning, and you know, it's
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
we just fuck up over and
Mhm.
over
Yeah.
again, such a deep,
Right.
profound way.
Yeah. It's like, do we have to go through such tough things and like such
Uh,
deep pain to actually learn those
yes,
things? And I think for some of us we do, but hopefully these conversations can just lessen some of that pain before you're willing to like have that
yeah,
moment of surrender and have that moment of like allowing and just
yeah,
inviting peace and creating that peace within you and realizing it's there. It's always there, just but uncovering it within
yes,
you. Yeah.
yes, yeah,
And what I love is the full circle because you talked about that term authenticity was meaningful to you years ago. And then you go through this whole journey and here come full
yeah,
circle. Now you have authenticity right back, but through a different lens, which is so beautiful to have that same word, but to see it in a whole different way.
yeah.
It's
And
beautiful.
decades ago, that word, I printed it, like I said, on my business card.
Yeah.
We connected to it really, not
Yeah.
consciously.
Right.
What was that, right? That's what's
Yeah.
beautiful about life.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Yeah.
And now it's the crux of what I do.
Yeah. It's like the
And
breadcrumb back then.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's not it's not even what I do, is learning to be that,
hmm
allow that. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, and I love for you to talk about the egg because
Yes.
I saw that, I was like, "This looks amazing." Can you talk about that? Because it looks
Yeah.
like such an amazing experience. I would love to hear more about it.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Mhm.
Oh, in so many ways, but it's
Yeah.
basically a huge, literally an egg,
Mhm.
gigantic. It has sacred geometry through and
Mhm.
through,
Mhm.
and its shape allows music and sound to move 365-degree through and through. You know,
Mhm.
light and sound can be manipulated that way.
Mhm.
And then you step in it, and there's a very comfortable chair that can go all the way to zero gravity.
Mhm.
So you lay or you sit whatever degree you're comfortable.
Mhm.
And I will pick lights. So there's light at the top and light at the bottom.
Mhm.
There's,
Mhm.
you know, I think 3, 6, 9, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how many lights, but several
Mhm.
colors that are, I don't know if people are aware of the chakras, but
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
according to chakras, really.
Mhm.
So I'll pick according to what we feel is appropriate for you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we have hundreds of songs that are designed by musicians who understand the power of sound.
Mhm.
And the sound, those melodies, they're layered, and they simply are, enveloping you with that sound, with these
Mhm.
melodies. And you sit in this light and the music for 39, 40 minutes. And
Mhm.
then we let you sit there for about 10 more minutes to process.
Mhm.
And then you're cooked and you
Mhm.
step out. And it's the power of sound and light. So,
Mhm.
how I explain it is we know that light and sound affects us
Mhm.
every day, all day long. If it's a sunny, bright blue sky day, it affects you a certain way. If it's gray, cloudy, and rainy, affects you a certain way.
Mhm.
Um, you know, hard rock and roll would affect you a certain way. Someone screaming affects you a certain way. Again, the timbre, the tone of your voice will affect you a certain way.
Mhm.
And music is the easiest way to be aware of that. We don't put heavy metal to help us fall asleep.
Mhm.
So sound is crucial to who we are and how the body functions in the world, and light. And it's focused, is focusing these two modalities, sound and
Mhm.
music, sound and light, in that egg shape that brings you in a very relaxed place. So it's truly a central nervous system reset. You
Mhm.
come out of there, even if you hate meditating and you've never done it, you come out of there very chill. So
Mhm.
the fight or flight,
Mhm.
you go to rest and digest.
Mhm.
And that state allows your body's intelligence to start healing, working on the things that need to be addressed. It
Mhm.
happens automatically. That's what the body does day in and day out. But now you can, through this modality, you can truly have an instant sense of that often people will want to test me. They're really
Mhm.
not testing me, but they don't tell me anything that's going on. Oh, I just want to experience it. So, and then they'll come
Mhm.
out and say, wow, it's crazy. I have a shoulder problem, a knee problem. I've had headaches.
Mhm.
And through the session, the tingling would get crazy and I would have sensation. And now I'm feeling so good. It's simply
Mhm.
the body being allowed now, being free to do what it does because you're not fighting imaginary monster. You're
Yeah.
not in that state.
Mhm.
So you allow divine intelligence to do its thing. Same thing as you're not veiling with your judgment and your thought processes. Therefore, you allow more the divine mind, intelligence, wisdom to get a hold of you and go
Mhm.
through you. So it's a first of all, it's for me, it's an amazing modality because I'm very sensitive to EMF. So
Mhm.
it has none of it. And I
Mhm.
also I love the fact that because of that, I feel very comfortable putting a pregnant woman, a newborn,
Mhm.
puppies,
Yeah.
young children, right? Because it's just music
Mhm.
and light.
Yeah.
Very kind. But it's also fun, especially with men who will poo-poo all over energy healing.
Mhm.
But somehow they were talked into going to the egg. It's a thing, it's a machine,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? It
Mhm.
appeals to the mind. And
Yeah.
so I've had more and more men
Mhm.
feeling comfortable being on their own,
Mhm.
moving through this.
Mm.
That's been fun to watch. So it's
Mhm.
a great modality, and it's something I haven't had one person who came out of there telling me, huh, Meh.
Mhm. Yeah.
Everybody is at least more chill, and that can
Mhm.
only be good for you.
And everybody else around them.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so amazing. I mean, I saw the videos on your website. I'm like, that looks so cool. So I love that. For somebody
Yeah.
who wanted to do that and connect with you, where can they find you? What's the best place?
It's
Mhm.
authenticitystressless.com. It's the
Mhm.
same on Instagram, Facebook. And if you
Mhm.
go to Authenticity Stressless, then all the services. So I can also do distant healing. So it's
Mhm.
energy work, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
energy has nothing to do with having to be there in
Mhm.
person. So
Yeah.
I can do energy work at a distance. We can even have your picture taken and sent, and I will put it in the egg.
Mm.
And even I, who work with energy, took me a while to
Mhm.
feel. I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I've had many clients who would say, oh, I do it all. I used to do it all the time at that other place.
Mhm.
And so it, my client talked me into indulging in that and then realizing, wow, no, of course, it's energy. It has no time and space.
Yeah.
Works. It just is. So we
Mhm.
can do distance sessions, but it's simply energy healing, harmonic egg. And of course, when you come to the facility, it's on a mountain surrounded
Mm.
by trees, and we have a little lake, and it's just so peaceful,
Mhm.
very conducive to resetting your central nervous system as well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's very simple. And then when you come, like I was saying, it's about sitting and allowing yourself to feel and be seen by yourself and
Mhm.
making the space for that.
Mm. Yeah, amazing. I'll put everything in the show notes too. So for anyone listening, definitely connect with Isabella. I'm so grateful for everything you shared today. There's so much
Thank you.
value in that. It's like one of those episodes you want to rewind and listen to. Just pull out those seeds, allow them to be planted and grow in your life. So thank you for everything today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's
Absolutely.
been
And
very
again, for
fun.
everyone listening, share this episode with someone who could benefit from it. It's through these messages that's really where the healing is. So thank you again.
You're very welcome.